I hear you danced at the wedding.
That's an understatement.
Yes.
Really?
It is. That is an understatement.
Are you filming me?
Yes.
Why?
Because I want to hear about your dancing career. When did you first start dancing?
Oh, well, I'm going to quote my mother now. When something was accepted for in a big show, a drawing, she said, "Oh, she always loved to draw."
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like any other kid, I was, scribbling.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, where were we?
Well, did you always love to dance?
I think so.
When did you start?
I have no idea. I have no idea. And that was absolutely spontaneous.
Well, when you were 2 years old or 3 years old, did you dance around?
Probably because I remember we had a Victrola. Oh my God, I'm just remembering something crazy. You know the old Victrola?
Yeah, yeah.
And we had a, I called it a farcella because I didn't know what else to call it.
Farcella?
A farcella was like it was just like a cover, I think. And what it was one of these big things that they used to throw across the piano.
You mean like a rag or schmuck?
Yeah. But
Farcella.
I remember that I used to wrap myself in that, and we had an old record player, and they played
Like you'd wrap yourself up in it and dance around?
and dance.
Ha ha! That's so funny.
And
your sister too? I wonder if she was
I
following
don't know.
you.
Well,
Because she was your little sister.
yeah, well, you're right, because she was 5 years younger than I was.
5.
And so
That's
there were
pretty
always the times in life when that was really important.
much. Yeah, 5 years is a lot.
5 years is a long time. Like when I could date and she couldn't.
Right, that's pretty.
She hated
long
me for
time.
that. I don't blame her. Okay. Do I have to keep talking, honey?
Did you dance a lot on your dates?
Did I dance on my dates?
Uh-huh. Did you go out dancing?
Oh, honey, the guy could be a moron, but if he could dance, he was in.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, your lemons
Huh?
are looking
The
good.
plot thickens.
But yeah,
What'd she say?
I said he could be a moron, but if he could dance, he was in.
Ha ha, right. Yes, dancing. See, she liked dancing, not drinking. Lightweight on the
Yeah,
drink.
no, I never did.
Right, you
enjoyed-
never did. I know. I never did either.
You either know. No, I never drank. I don't like anything that was alcohol. So that was never. That made me a cheap date. Of course, you know.
So, do you remember any of these dancing boyfriends?
Right.
The ones that could dance really good. Could Shelley? Could Shelley dance?
No.
No. She married the
You-
non-dancer.
Married a non-dancer. But I fell in love with his.
Unbelievable.
I fell in love with his smile because he had absolutely beautiful teeth.
Ah, Shelley did.
I didn't find out until later that it had plenty of dental work done.
Oh, huh. Did your kids have his beautiful teeth?
My kids?
Have Shelley's beautiful teeth?
You know what? I don't remember any of this stuff. I
Huh.
don't know if they did or not. But that was always important to me.
Good teeth.
Teeth. Good
Mhm.
teeth.
Yeah. Teeth show social class.
Oh, is that why?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did Judith didn't come?
No.
This way.
I felt that leads me to one of my favorite stories.
Okay.
In Morocco,
Mm-hmm.
I used to go from the old city to the new city because that's where the post office was.
Mm-hmm.
That was a long walk through the marketplace, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw the same guy sitting in the post office was glass and it kind of wrapped around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the same guy like day in and day out, because, you know, you're always hungry for mail when you're away from home like that. And so I used to make that walk every day. While I was doing this, I was building a whole story in my mind. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I was endowing this guy with, I cannot tell you. I didn't know anything about him, right? So he could have been anything. So one day I made him a king, and then I made him a prince, and then I made him a landowner, and I had my whole the whole thing going in my head, right? My whole fantasy,
Your Moroccan fantasy.
my Moroccan fantasy. And one day, something happened. And that was my friend Jean-Louis, whom I loved dearly, who was my gay French guy friend. I used to meet him. We'd have coffee. And I saw Jean-Louis stop and say hello to this guy. And I thought, oh my God, Jean-Louis knows him. There's my introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so, I can't remember exactly how it happened, but it was very strange. Jean-Louis would always greet me with, you know, hello dearie, and enchanté, and you know, the hand kissing thing. I said to him, I saw him talking to this guy, and I said to him, you know him? He said, yeah, I know him really well. And I said, oh, I've been dying to meet him. Okay? And I was right about one thing. He was an author. He was a writer. Okay? But all the rest of the stuff that I had in my head, it was garbage that I was, you know, making up.
He was no king or
Huh?
prince. He was no prince or king.
He was no prince. He was no king. And when Jean-Louis finally, right, I thought, oh my God, he knows him. What happened was that he introduced me to this guy, right, and who was very, very gallant, okay. He got on his knee, okay, and in a very French way, took my hand, you know, right, kissed my hand and said, enchanté.
Said what?
Enchanté.
Ah.
And gave me a big smile.
What does that mean in English?
What?
Enchanté.
Enchanted.
Enchanted.
Yeah.
Ah, wonderful.
And he smiled. He smiled. And guess what?
He didn't have any teeth.
He had one tooth in the front of
Ay,
his mouth.
I was only kidding. He was
One tooth in the front of his mouth.
And he was
I-
a dentist?
I never fell out of love so fast in my life.
Oh, no.
And I said to Jean-Louis later, I said, for Christ's sake, you know, I know that you're always complaining you're the dentist to the royal family and they don't like to pay their bills and blah, blah. And you let this guy walk around with one tooth in his mouth. It was the fastest out of love that I've had in my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's one of my funny.
That's a good story.
Yeah, that's one of my funny Morocco
That's
stories.
a good one.
Hmm?
Yeah, so in Morocco, you never touched a camel. You never ate a camel. Because they serve camel. Did you ever eat meat in Morocco?
Oh, I don't know, but
Because if
but
you
I
ever
love-
ate meat, because
I
was
love the
eating it.
camel. I would never touch.
Me too, but they do them when they're old.
So what
They
did you?
don't-
I wouldn't touch camel meat because I had a thing for camels. That's all. They had those big eyes and they had eyelashes that were like 3 inches long.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Oh, they're beautiful eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you had a favorite camel, didn't you?
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember.
Sophia.
Oh, the one I called Sophia Loren.
I wonder
Oh
what
yeah,
she'd
well I
think.
think
I wonder what she'd think of that.
I know.
camel.
I think that was the one that I think that was the one that when I went on a 3-day camel trip.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Did I ever tell
Yeah.
you that?
yeah. That was the one.
Oh, I went on a 3-day camel trip, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea what that would feel like.
Didn't your legs hurt after a while?
My
Your
legs,
crotch?
there wasn't my crotch.
Ow.
All I can tell you is that, yeah.
You could hardly walk.
No. All I remember was I said, I have to get off this camel. And I said, why? And I said, because I think I'm being circumcised.